What's going on, everybody? So today I've got a PS5 DualSense controller and it has stick drift. This is actually my personal controller. I've taken really good care of it. Man, these things are just so prone to getting stick drift, it's unreal. So we're gonna do a tutorial on how to fix the stick drift and how to calibrate it once you fix the stick drift. So let's get to it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to use a pry tool, and we're going to stick it in here, right here, and pry this piece up out of the controller. So let's go ahead and get our handy dandy pry tool, and we will just stick it right here. Okay, there we go. Here, I need to turn this way. It's gonna be harder for you guys to see, but I'll just explain what I'm doing. I'm just going around and prying it up. It's just the way it sounds. Just go all the way around, prying this up. And then boom. Real easy, simple to do. Once you do that, you are going to have a screw right here and a screw right here. And then after that, we are going to take the L1 and R1 buttons out. And there will be screws under there as well. So let's get started on that. Need a Phillips. All right, just need a Phillips, and I'm just gonna do this. All right, we got those two screws out. So now we're going to pry the L1 and R1 buttons, and they just pop out, really. You just go in here. Oh, wow, that just shot across my room. There we go. 1 second, let me go grab that button. All right, so now once you do that, you're going to have a screw right here and another one right here. So let's take those out. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Got all 4 screws out. All right, so once you do that, we're gonna go along, and it should just come open. See how it's coming apart right there? Put your pry tool in there. Sheesh. This one does not want to. My goodness. This is I've never had this much trouble taking this apart. One of these apart. Well, I'm trying to do it from the wrong spot, I guess. There's little latches down here. Right here and right here. So There we go. I don't know why I was trying to do it the other way. Trying to make this video, I guess. Not really thinking. All right, now that once you have those, now you can come up here. There we go. Jeez. All right. There you go. The back comes off, and careful with this battery. There we go. Now this repair does require micro soldering, so take this screw out first, which I just did. And you want to pull this cable out. See how this is attached to this motherboard in here. So here, let me grab. There we go. Let me grab some of these. There it is. All right, take that off. Next thing you want to do is disconnect these cables right here. So you can probably just pull those with your fingers, really. The ones on the side anyways. So I just undid this and this. Now we need to pull this one out. Find a good way to pull this. Yeah, these are a pain in the butt. There we go. Okay. Also, don't forget about this one down here. Want to pull that out. Okay. All right, so the last thing you need to do on this is there are 2 clips on each side. It's probably going to be hard to see. Shine a little light right here. But there's a black clip right here, and then there's a black clip on this side too, right here, and it holds this motherboard down. So let's push on this and lift that up. Boom, there we go. Okay. So now we got it wanting to lift out of place. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we are going to desolder these cables so we can take this motherboard out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add some flux, and then I'm going to add a little bit of solder because that will make it easier to heat the solder that's on the board up. The solder on this board is really hard to heat up if you don't do that. So it sounds counterintuitive, but really add solder and then a little bit of flux, and it'll heat up real easily. So let's do that. All right, let's add solder. Flux. Excuse me. Before you do this too, well, I guess if you're watching this video, you don't need to do this, but it's smart to take a picture before you disconnect these cables, because these wires, because you do want to know exactly which position they're in. Yellow, green, black, red, yellow, green, black, red. so I've got my flux. Add it to the board. So let's add a little bit of solder. This will probably be hard for you to see. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna grab the red cable with this, and I'm gonna heat this up with my iron, my solder iron. Excuse me. My God, my accent is terrible. All right, so I got that one. And trust me, if you don't add flux to this, solder to this, it's gonna be hard to heat these up and remove these. Boom. All right, there goes the black one. All right, add a little solder to the green wire. All right. Pull. All right, got that. Add a little solder to the yellow wire. All right, so I got all of those disconnected. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and I just showed you how to do it on this side, so I'm going to skip ahead on this video. All right, so I have all of these cables disconnected. That literally took me like less than a minute probably to do each side, so 2 minutes total. All right, so now we've got the motherboard out. We're gonna set this over to the side. Now it's my left. Usually I would change both of these, but honestly this, and you can test each stick before you open these up, and you'll know which stick has the stick drift. Sometimes it can be this side, but I know in fact that it is this side, so I'm just going to replace this one actually. Now the way I do this is I get one of these, and I get a few of these. There we go, get a few of these and fold them over. And what I'm going to do is do like this. I'm going to set this down in here and tighten this up. Now you don't want to do it too tight. You don't want to damage anything on the board, but you want it to be tight enough to where it's not going to fall out or fall over or anything like that. Oh, one thing I almost forgot is we're going to be heating this part up right here to remove the stick. So you do want to use some Captain tape and cover this up right here so you do not melt it. So let me do that real quick. Got my tape. Okay. Just want to cover it up good and make sure that the tape does not come loose, because we do not want to damage this connector. All right. I'm going to put flux on every one of these right here. Every one of these. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Now, these on the side, this one, and this one, you don't need to put flux on those because the stick is not connected into those. It's connected into every one of these other ones though. All right. All right. Let's get our rework station. I'm going to use put my rework station at 410 degrees Celsius at 99% airflow. So, and I'm just going to hold it literally like this close to the board. So let's do that. Okay. Boom. Boom. That easy. Okay. Now we are going to get our replacement stick and we're going to prep it. We're going to put flux and solder on each one of these. Then we will reheat the board and we will just stick it back in there. So let me go get the new stick. All right, so I've already went and prepped every one of these, I guess, prongs, I guess you would call them. I put solder on each one of them. So now what we're going to do is we are going to heat this board up again. Oh shoot. Wow. Wow. I think I'm good though. I think we are good. Figure out which way this lines up. It lines up like this. So now what we are going to do is we are going to heat this board up again. Quite. There it is. Stick it in there, hold it for a second. Voila. All right. Now, be careful because the board is going to be hot. Do not burn yourself. Sweet. Now what we are going to do is clean our work. Get some 99% isopropyl and let's go ahead and clean this up. You can use a spare toothbrush also, just be careful. You don't want to knock off any filters or anything like that. Well, let me get this other side. There we go. There we go. Okay. This looks pretty good, actually. So, I mean, that's that. So let's reassemble it. Pretty much do what we did, taking it apart, but in reverse, obviously. So, we want to reattach this before we stick the motherboard back in there. And you want to clean the inside of this out also. You know, if there's dirt or anything, you want to clean that out. All right, so we'll stick it back into here. And just do everything that we did, taking it apart in reverse, and then we'll go to, I'll show you how to calibrate the new stick after I get it put back together. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so it's time to calibrate it. What was that? That was weird. All right, so what you're going to do is Google DualSense Calibration GUI or DualShock Calibration GUI. Click on that, understood. And then you're going to connect your controller to your PC or your Mac. You can use a MacBook to do this. So let me do that. Okay, I have it connected to the PC. Then you want to click connect, click on that, click connect, and then you'll just follow the instructions. Calibrate stick center. You'll follow these instructions. Let me show you this though. That new stick, look, it's already starting off a stick drift to the right. So that's why you have to calibrate these. And you can't calibrate the ones that already, well, let me rephrase this. I could not connect my controller to this and calibrate it with the old stick on. It would not work. But once you put the new stick on the motherboard and put the controller back together, you have to calibrate it. So let's click on this, follow the instructions, and then your controller should be good to go. All right, so I followed the instructions. I even did the calibrate stick range. I honestly don't even know how to do this one. I don't find it necessary. Once you do all of that, you want to click on Save Changes Permanently, and if you notice before, This was drifting a little bit over here, but now they're both dead center. This controller is good to go now.